hate when I hate when I'm trying to make a video and I get interrupted. Um, but anyways, I'm not gonna bore you with. I was gonna bore you with details about shit, but about my other phone, but I ain't got time for that. Um, Last night, I was on Facebook and I saw a post about this black guy. It's about my age, probably 22, 23, maybe 21, around my age, and he made a post about black women, his girlfriend's loyalty. And so he made this long-winded post about how, his girlfriend is so loyal despite him having multiple side pieces. He didn't have anything going on with his life. He didn't have a car. He didn't have any money. He was messing with females. He had nothing going on with himself. He didn't give a damn about life or anything. And he never really talked about like what transpired on the transition that he made to be loyal. But all he really did was just kind of go on and on and on about how his girlfriend is so loyal despite him being, and he even called himself a failed man. And that was so embarrassing. He's over there congratulating his girlfriend for being stupid, and you know, um, he's boosting her head up, talking about how loyal she is despite how grateful he is, and he's talking about how she has her own everything. She's Miss Independent. Own place, own car, already paid off. Uh, got a bachelor's degree. The chick ain't really fine. She's really average. So I'm not really understanding why he's bending over backwards for her. But it just kind of seemed weird because he had like the post and it had a picture of him in like a navy uniform or army uniform, and his girl had on her graduation gown, and I was like, this is so confusing because this dude made a post on December 19th talking about he's a failure, and this is in the present tense. I'm a failure of a man, and then he goes on about how ungrateful he used to be and how awesome his girlfriend is, and I'm like, okay, so then I saw the post, you know, yes, last night. So I'm just kind of thinking to myself, it's like, did this nigga just like, it's like, it's like a lot of niggas just post shit and don't even make a lot of sense. I'm just kind of like scratching my head, like, okay, she's an idiot, and I saw a lot of girls posting this, well, sharing his post, and I'm just kind of like looking at it like, females need to stop doing this shit of loyalty. They need to stop trying to be loyal or like earn a loyalty badge. That kind of annoys me like hell when I see females being with guys that are thugs, idiots, morons, um, and these girls are trying to be loyal. They're trying to not look like the bad person or the ungrateful person. They already have it in their heads that they're already going to be more successful than their boyfriend. They're already established. She's gonna have, you know, her car before him. She knows that her job is more stable than his. And I'm really tired of niggas with this shit. I'm tired of females for co-signing it, and I'm tired of dudes, black men, always begging women to be more understanding. Oh, yeah. I'm just kind of tired of that shit. It's like I don't want to hear it anymore of how a brother got it bad, and his job, it's frustrating and stressful, and he ain't got shit going on, and I'm just kind of like, um, why are you in a relationship in the first place? Like, brothers shouldn't even be in relationships, at least committed relationships where it requires sex and like strong commitment. Like, brothers should, if you ain't got like a job, money, a car, your own place, or in the process, I really don't advise brothers to even be in relationships, because I'm like wondering, like, how are you going to function? Look past the sex, look past all that. What are you gonna do? You know, how are you gonna spoil her with your $100 budget a week? How are you going to take her out or spoil her, and you're worrying about, you're trying to convince her that, oh, going to McDonald's shows, doing a dinner date at McDonald's shows more loyalty and understanding than taking her to Red Lobster, because if you take her to Red Lobster, that means that she's, you know, a gold digging bitch who's looking for a come up. And that's kind of like the thing that I really think that's going in the heads of a lot of these girls, is that they're afraid to be called gold diggers. They're afraid to be, they're afraid to have high standards. They're afraid of that. They don't, and I think a lot of this is coming from grandmas who believe, or not even really grandma, I would say mothers. I've seen this from mothers who I'll probably say Generation X parents. I'm seeing this from mothers who believe in alternative parenting. Alternative parenting. Parenting. I don't know why I started. But anyways, because I've seen this on Facebook to where, girls, like there was a girl that I liked, and she made a post on Facebook about what her mother told her and taught her about men and being in love, and she was saying, like, a man's value was not judged by material. It's not about his money or job or anything. It's about character, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be the girl that gets run over and becomes an instant single mom. This is the dumb shit that get girls fucked up and in situations to where they're single parents. And I don't even know. And looking at the girl from the picture that I was mentioning earlier, she looks basic as hell, probably lonely, and she's probably just with the nigga because maybe the frats and the dudes from the fraternities already ran her over. Niggas ain't looking at her like that, and this pretty boy with tattoos all over is just probably some entertainment for her. And the funny thing about it was that I didn't even look into this dude's profile that much. And what had happened was that when I posted it on a group, one of the members looked into his profile, and the dude is single. And that's what I was kind of muttering, because I had a thought, and I was wondering, like, did I forget a detail? And I just remember that sorry for the background noise, but I was thinking, I was trying to remember something, and I remember it now. And that was within like like he made that post, and then like a week before, or a week later, or a couple days later, he made a post talking about he's single as fuck. And I'm like, what? So I'm thinking that somebody may have hacked his page, or you know, maybe he's reminiscing about good times. But it was just really weird that like he makes a post about female loyalty only to bitch and moan about he's single. I'm like, oh, like this doesn't make any sense. And she's probably of this nigga, tired of this nigga living off her. She's probably tired of having to pay everything, because I really don't know how girls can be so used to paying for everything. It's one thing, let's say, like, okay, a nigga don't have a car, but he's willing to pay gas. He's willing to pay for the dinner date. He's willing to cover it. And it was kind of weird because I noticed that a lot of girls my age are not used to men paying for them. There was one girl that I knew years ago, and we was talking about her dating life, and she told me that she never knew any guys who paid for her meal, and I was like, what? And she told me that like in every date she went on, she would always pay the tab. She would always pay the bill. And I find it kind of weird because usually I guess she's like an IR dater. I guess she dates black and white men, but probably mostly white men. And I find it kind of, odd that, she would, I kind of find it odd that white boys wouldn't pay. But I've learned recently that a lot of white boys date black women for easy rides. And they do the same kind of dusty come up as a lot of dusty niggas do. So they're not all that. A lot of these white boys dating black women, they're not really all that. And they're just playing. They're just trying to show off the little privilege that they have. But they ain't all that. But anyways, but there was another girl, and this was last year, and I told my friend about a. It wasn't really a date, but I was with this girl that I used to like a long time ago, and we went out to eat. And I told my friend, we that me and this girl went on a date. It wasn't romantic or anything, and she was mad that I paid her bill, that I paid for her food, and I was like, she was like, well, why are you letting that girl, eat off you? She's using you for a meal ticket. She's using you. She's, you know, you should let her cover it. And I was kind of just scratching my head. It was like, okay, it wasn't an expensive meal. Her tab wasn't, her bill wasn't that high, and I think I took her out to eat like 2 times. I don't know if it was in the same week, but I don't think the bill went over like $40. Well, the whole expense. Okay, I paid like a um, we smoked weed. I think that was like $10 or $20. So that was like really a cheap date. And, the food really was only like $35. I think it was like 32. And it was just kind of weird, like hearing girls talk to me about how they're so used to leading and how you know women shouldn't be pampered. I'm like, okay, we really live in a weird society. I will say a weird black society because you know girls are being raised to be the heads, and they're raised and they're already told to be taking care of niggas. All basically all I see black men are is just cheerleaders. We're just cheerleading the success of black women. We're cheerleading, down to victory, and we give them praises for just being there. She doesn't have to, be the smartest light bulb in the room, but she's there, and you just have to give her praise. And I'm like, we really have low standards in the black community. This is really why black people really need to develop a class system so we won't have to be dealing with, you know, niggas who aren't about shit. Because it just mind boggles me that seeing black women with low self esteem date, thugs and idiot men who don't want to do anything, and they don't want to seem like the ungrateful bitch. They don't want to seem like the gold digger. They don't want to seem like the bougie chick with the high standards. And I mean, I can't believe that the dating game is this bad. But when I get if I'm lucky enough to have a daughter, man, the last thing I want her to get involved with is with some thug who is pandering and giving her praise while he's just sitting back playing Xbox and just living easy. And he's talking about how he gives the best D game. His D game's one of a kind, and all he can do is just lay down some pipe, cheerlead. Yet she's working and she's getting all these degrees. And like, what kind of relationship is that? You know, you know, you know. I don't know what the state of black womanhood or black girlhood is now, but it's looking pathetic. That's all I gotta say.